I'm in the center of this massive body of water, the Pacific Ocean. Something incredible happened here about 800 years ago. In a seemingly unbelievable coincidence, two archaeological wonders just appeared in the Pacific. One, Easter Island, where seafarers erected giant stone heads. And the other, the even more enigmatic civilization that built a place called Namadol. A legendary complex of man-made islands and stone structures built right into the coral reef. That's where I'm headed.
向かうのはアルバート・リン。独自の視点で世界の謎に迫ります。最先端の技術を駆使し、過去の歴史を紐解いていくのです。
Check that out. I can actually fly through the secret ancient world.
どこまでも広がる砂漠、木々の生い茂るうっそうとしたジャングル、広大な海、そこに眠る世界をあらわにします。
We're wading into uncharted waters. Now I have the military helping me find lost cities.
世界中の驚きに満ちた場所での新たなる発見。
That's where pixels become reality.
その発見によって私たちは知るのです。自分が誰で、どこから来て、何を成し遂げられるのかを。
Here we are in the 13th century.
This is carved out of the earth, huh?
ここに探検の新たな黄金時代が始まります。
We know their secrets.
ミクロネシア・ポンペイ島。周囲は見渡す限りの海。大陸から隔離され、太平洋にポツンと浮かんでいます。4度飛行機を乗り継ぎ、28時間かけて到着です。
Time to go.
案内してくれるのは地元の歴史家、ガスコーラ
ー。Thanks, brother.
How was the trip?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. What is Namadol?
Namadol was once the residence of the ruling South Dynasty, about 600 to 800 years ago. It's an ancient city. You'd be amazed at the know-how that they had to build this city in the water.
イースター島やマチュピチュに並ぶ謎めいた遺跡だといいます。大部分が水や木に覆われ、目では見えません。全容を明らかにすべく、リンはデジタル技術を駆使し、謎に挑みます。冒険の始まりです。
We're superstitious people. We believe that it's invested by spirits. So we will have to, first of all, go through the king, or the monarchy, as they refer to, and ask for his protection and permission to enter the site. This is the custom that we do here. There's been rumors of people dying when they don't follow protocol.
Dying?
Yes.
This really happened?
It did.
So what do I have to do to get permission?
We will have to do what we call a sakao ceremony.
木の根を石で潰して作るサカウ。麻酔効果があり、祭礼などで使われます。太平洋の他の島でも見られる慣習です。
The purpose of our presentation before our king is to ensure that the spirits of our ancestors welcome you when you visit Nanmadol. Albert?
I mean, my heart's pounding right now.
My whole mouth is numb. Like when you go to the dentist, I can barely feel my tongue right now.
スタッフも含め、儀式には全員が参加します。遺跡に眠るのはシャウテレウル王朝の人々。 彼らはおよそ800年前に渡来し、島を支配しました。そして人々にナンマドールを作らせたのです。
We come here with a feeling of honor to be here in your land.
Thank you.
儀式は終了。飲んだサカウの効果が現れ始めます。
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
I see like double. It's intense. It's intense. But the most important thing is the king of this land said that he protects us, which means we're a go. So tomorrow, it's on. Namadol.
This is it, Albert. Welcome to the jungle. We are on sacred grounds right now. You're just beginning to see it's part of the structures.
I've never seen anything like this.
Welcome to Nanmadol.
伝説のシャウテレウル王朝の都。しかし露出しているのはごくわずか。マングローブが全てを覆っているのです。現代の技術でこの地の謎を紐解いていきます。どのようにして作られたのか、実際はどれほど大きいのか。
What is that? It's incredible, ain't it? I was born here, but every time I come up here, I'm always amazed. Always. This is the main ceremonial center of Nanmadol.
ここは古代の王朝時代の寺院、玄武岩を積み上げて建設されました。当時はここに何百人という聖職者や参拝者がいたのです。そして恐ろしい王も。
Must have been some super powered humans to build this, huh?
Well, this area was meant only for the elite. It was the only time in our history that we were ruled by one person. Almost like a dictator. So he was able to command all the people on the island to come and assist in the building of Nanmadol.
Look, is that more rocks over there? Is that
Yes,
more of
that's in our outer wall. Built all the way to the edge of the reef.
Yeah, you can see the reef breaking right there.
Exactly.
It's massive.
海に浮かぶ古代都市の謎を解くため、まずは全体像をつかみます。そこで必要なのが上空からの調査。
I think we have to scan this, you know, with the drone, and maybe we can start to really map out all these different features.
Okay, so this is where we're at right now. There are 90 plus structures, all man-made. From here all the way down south. The edge of exit
All the
here.
way to there?
Yes.
Such a huge area.
It is huge.
You can't see anything. It's all mangrove. Are the mangroves here 800 years ago?
No, I doubt it. It's been abandoned for a long time, so mangroves just grew.
It would have been easier to map it then than it is now.
Yes.
Well, that's why we have LiDAR, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
didn't delete
sure.
the mangroves.
Take it off.
ドローンを飛ばす回数は40回以上。スキャンする面積はおよそ1平方キロメートル。バチカン市国のおよそ2倍です。マングローブに隠された古代都市の全容をあらわにします。リンは再び先ほど見た巨大な祭礼場へ。ここを作った人々のことを調べます。
Why is there so little known about people that built this incredible monument?
The reason there's so little known is because there's not a written system to express ideas. It's through oral tradition, which are
Stories.
Exactly, those are stories handed down generation to generation. And no person can tell the entire story because there's the belief that if they tell the whole story that they will die. They're no longer useful.
how was this place built? I can't imagine how human effort could actually carry these stones all the way up to the top of this building.
It's really not clear to us how it was done, the physics part of it. One legend talks about magic being used to lift the rocks and bring them over here so they would fly.
Magic flew these rocks here.
That's right.
今までになく不思議な場所です。リンが持つのは科学者の視点。ここがどうやって作られたのか解明できるのでしょうか。祭礼場の奥に進むと見覚えのあるものが。
Here we have a Sakao pounding stone. Remember from the Sakao ceremony with the Nanmarki? You can tell it because of the circular wear pattern.
So you're telling me that people used to sit around this stone and pound Sakao right at the entrance to this complex. This is like a gateway sort of ceremony.
It's like a rite of passage in how you get to know people.
And this is the same thing that's been going on for centuries.
Yeah, at least centuries, if not 1,000 years.
中央へ行くとこの石積みの目的が明らかになります。
This tomb housed the bones of the Saddler, the leader at the time for the whole island.
Where were they found? Do you know?
Some of them were inside of the walls, between the rocks.
複数人の遺骨が出たとのこと。代々の王が眠る墓だったのかもしれません。
What do you know about the Saddlers?
The stories tell us that the Saddlers had a bit of a bad reputation, and they didn't exactly treat everyone so well.
And this is literally the heart of the whole complex.
That's right.
ナンマドールの先端にある広大な墓の地区。歴代の王が眠る島です。
You know, it's very different than the stone heads of Easter Island. But just like there, this place, right here, was built to honor the spirits of the dead. Spirits that the locals believe still reside here.
この墓はナンマドールの一部に過ぎません。ライダーを使えばもっと多くをあらわにできるはずです。1平方キロメートルに及ぶジャングルの下に古代都市ナンマドールは眠っています。ライダーのレーザースキャンを使ってマップを作成。構造が明らかになれば建設の目的もわかるでしょうか。
Hacking through the jungle, taking this massive drone and launching from every point they could in a methodical grid pattern. It's going to take some time for the processing to finish so that we can remove the trees. But we've got the first scans in. Let's pull them in.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's pretty awesome, right?
It's amazing.
Even before we remove the trees, you get a sense of this network of geometric shapes that define the human structures, right? You can already see faintly here, 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 and then here's the main site that you took me to earlier. So you can already start to piece together this whole city, or what was once there.
古代の墓や寺院の様子が少しだけ見えてきました。
Yeah, see, what is this? Look how straight those lines are. You see that? Look at that. They're perfectly uniform.
It's such a regular shape that can't be natural.
That's incredible. I want to check them out.
The mangrove is really dense. So, I mean, there's no way for us to walk in there, you know, it's impossible. Unless you go by a boat.
We're headed back to Namadol now, this time by sea. This is how they would have approached here hundreds of years ago.
GPS を頼りにライダーに移っていた場所へ向かいます。
Look
Look at those. Can we get in right there? Wow, these are unreal. These are huge rocks. It's bigger than anything else I've seen here. I just can't wrap my head around how they would have got them here and then lifted them one upon another. It's just insane. You know, each one of these boulders must weigh the amount of a couple of buses at least. Now, this is something beyond imagination. So weird.
石の壁を伝い、ジャングルの中へ。
It's enormous. And it goes on forever.
ライダーに映った人工物は分厚い壁でした。およそ2キロにわたって続いています。
It's almost like a giant fortress, more than a city.
都市の輪郭がかなり見えてきました。壁の途切れ目から中へ、水路に沿って玄武岩でできた壁がさらに続きます。
It's like a master mason designed the whole thing, but they didn't use mortar. They just placed everything in a perfect balance. Still intact, 800 years or so after construction. It's getting very narrow here. We're looking for a passageway, but the mangroves have just grown everywhere. Is it okay to enter this area?
It's too risky for you to get off.
Why is that risky?
In the afternoon time, there are spirits around these islands guarding these places. You don't want to get sick.
You know, in respect for the local traditions, I think we're gonna keep going.
昔ながらのやり方はこれで終了。明日は技術を駆使した調査です。ライダーのデータで木々を取り除き、壁の内側に何があるのかを暴きます。少し垣間見えたナンマドールの輪郭。しかし全容は未だつかめません。古来の伝説とマングローブのジャングルに隠されているのです。テクノロジーの出番です。スキャンの結果はどうでしょう。
The hope here is that you're going to see Namadol as it was originally, before all these trees took over. We're getting a view of the entire site, because you can't see it unless you do something like this. This is the LiDAR before the trees have been removed. You ready for this?
Yes.
Look at that. See?
Oh, wow, look at that.
It's crazy, right?
That's another structure for sure.
Do you think there's structures that you've never seen before?
Yes, definitely. Just from this picture, about 10, because, you know, it's really inaccessible.
So with this, we're able to go where you can't go.
Yes.
This is incredible. Do you know, are there stories of this place?
Of course, each structure has a function. This one is the residential area for the outdoors, so this is where they lived.
You can realize that the entire area is protected by this seawall. What were they defending themselves against?
Not only, I guess, natural elements, but probably people. Up to 2,000 people live here, but these were the rulers.
You can imagine how impressive this would have been. Just the scale, it's amazing. This was happening some 800 years ago.
Exactly.
On this island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
当時の様子をデジタル技術で復元します。ナンマドールの 栄光の時代を。海にそびえる巨大な壁、内側には90を超える人口の島、そこには代々の王の墓や王宮がありました。寺院や建造物がシャウテレウル王朝の恐ろしい支配力を物語っていたことでしょう。
So we have a 3D digital model of the height of all of these different features. And from that, we can get a precise measurement based off of this actual data of how much volume of material this place took to build.
まずは最も大きな場所を計算してみることに。リンが訪れた祭礼場です。
We've just looked at the main exterior wall as an initial calculation. What I've done here is just take a simple section, and from this we're looking at over 14,000 tons of basalt. That's for just the outside walls, not even the whole structure and the tombs and stuff inside.
14,000 tons.
It's crazy.
I know, right?
では遺跡全体にすると一体どれほどの石材が使われているのでしょう。その量はなんと70万トン近く。驚くべき規模を誇る古代の建造物です。大量の石はどこから来たのでしょう。何百年も魔法によるものだとされてきました。島の反対側、手がかりを求めある場所へ向かいます。
That's it. That's the baby.
玄武岩の採石場です。
It just pokes straight out of the trees.
鉱山がそびえ立っています。
I think we could fly the drone right out of here and do a big pass around it. Ready?
これで巨大な鉱山を間近に見られます。なんと石が切り出されたのは頂上付近のようです。古代の人々はどうやってここに登り石を下ろしたのでしょうか。
I don't think we can make it all the way to the top. But there's a spot right in the middle of the mountain that we may be able to access.
This way, maybe this way. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
120メートルほどの急な坂。登り始めるとすぐほぼ垂直に。
Be careful, Albert. Some rocks here. Slippery.
This is where they got the rocks from.
Yep.
Pretty intense quarry.
This is the real deal, bro. We're almost there. All right. Up.
頂上まで15メートルの地点に採石場らしき場所が。
These are unreal. They look exactly like the ones in Amador. The same hexagonal shape.
Yep.
This is like the stone log cabin hardware store for the island. They didn't have dynamite or anything like that back then. How would they actually break these off?
One of the theories is that you burn wood and you pour water in, it will crack.
Oh, it expands.
Yeah.
So they were like almost like material scientists back then.
Yes, engineers.
How much does one of these weigh?
The typical ones they use in Nanmado is between 5 to 10 tons. But there are boulders that can weigh up to 50 tons.
How far is Namadol from here?
10 miles across the land straight.
10 miles that way?
Yes.
Just doesn't make any sense. Let's go a little further. I'm gonna try to see if I can get up there and get a view.
Okay, good luck.
You're not coming?
I'm not coming.
I'll be right back.
Be careful now.
人々は島の逆側からここへやってきて、そそり立つ山を登り、巨大な石を切り出しました。そして長い道のりを運んだのです。およそ1万キロ離れたイースター島でも人々は 山から火山岩を切り出し、驚くべきものを作り上げました。強い信仰心を胸に抱いて。
This is perfect. You can see everything, the whole area. Maybe I can start to see exactly what route they might have taken with these rocks. No, I'm gonna look on the satellite images. Here, okay, so I think right here, on top of this mountain. They had to get the rocks all the way over to here, to Namadol. I couldn't imagine carrying a 5 or 10 ton boulder over that mountain behind me. Doesn't seem possible at all. Okay.
頂上から見下ろすと別の道が見えました。海へ続くマングローブの小道。マングローブがある場所には水があります。
The way that would be most logical is they might have broken these boulders off, thrown them down to the bottom of this quarry, and then somehow used the mangroves and the channels to get them out. If they could float them out to sea, maybe they would move them across the inside of that reef where the waves aren't so bad. And then it's a decision. Do you go north all the way around the island that way, or do you go south? I guess it depends on the winds, the tides, and the distance. And actually, you know, honestly, like super sophisticated in terms of whatever engineering they had to come up with to make that possible.
これは仮説に過ぎません。しかし気になる伝説が、海底に死者が住む石の都があるというのです。場所はこことナンマドールの間。石の輸送に関する手がかりが見つかるかもしれません。
We're headed to a site that has been described as an underwater city of the dead or of the gods, still inhabited today with spirits. You know, most locals, they won't even come here to fish because it's taboo. You know, we're wading into uncharted waters in some ways.
リンが向かったのはナンマドールの東、サンゴ礁の浅瀬が急に深くなる場所です。
You can start to see the outer walls in front of us. Off to starboard a little bit, 1 o'clock.
我々のライダー装置は海では使えません。そこで水中探査装置を使い、水深100メートルほどの海底を調べます。
Here, as we're motoring along, making a grid pattern around the entrance of Namadol, the sonar is sending a ping straight down. It'll hit something and then return back like a reflection. Basically, these little blobs, just a school of fish right here. I'm just looking for anything that might look man-made, something that's maybe geometric in nature.
スキャン開始から30分。
Look at that.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
A big spike. We're right on top of it now. You got seafloor, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, this spike in elevation right here, right underneath us. Whether it's man-made or not, that's why we're diving on it. Let's mark this point right here.
Straight on. Okay, we'll drop in close to the entrance to Namadol and then swim out looking for the structure. Okay.
Dive foot.
Is that thing motorized?
Should be, right? That's the next one.
Yeah.
That's the upgrade.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I was sitting in a hospital bed wondering if I'd ever walk again. And now, I'm about to don a scuba diving kit and drop into an ocean. We're gonna look for a lost city.
It's just barren down here. There's not a lot of fish. Oh, it's murky.
So if they see basalt rock down there, I mean, that's evidence that this place was man-made or man-built. Basalt rocks are volcanic rocks. They're not coral reefs. It's out of place if we find it here. Somebody brought it here.
ナンマドールの近くから調査を開始。
That's the emerald right there. You can see the seawall.
少し離れたところに見覚えのあるものが。
Look, the same hexagonal stones right here. Incredible.
ここにある玄武岩はナンマドールのものではなさそうです。意図して置かれたようには見えません。サンゴ礁から離れ深い方へ、調査対象のエリアです。
Check this out. This must be what we saw in the sonar. Oh man, it's got to be about 20 feet tall. They're kind of one after the other here, just pumping up out of the seafloor in this very vertical direction. I really can't be sure this is natural or something man-made. Either way, it's spooky looking.
You know, it's pretty incredible down there. I did see piles of basalt rock closer to Namadol, and along the side of the wall are these huge pillars that just rise out of the depths, like shadows of giants through this murky water. But it's, to me, inconclusive. You know, it could be natural forming reef or coral heads, or it could be basalt encrusted with coral. It's hard to say. Whatever it is, it's weird.
Very, very strange down there. Very strange.
That's a huge column there. That's got to be at least 30 feet tall. Have you seen other coral pillars like this before?
This is the only place that I've seen pillars like that. I've never seen coral grow in a vertical column like that unless there's something for it to grow onto.
謎に包まれた無数に立ち並ぶ巨大な柱。おそらく海底都市の伝説の起源でしょう。一方、海底に転がる六角形の石柱。これはナンマドールの石材を運んだ時のものかも。巨大な石を海で運ぶ技術があったとしたら、海を渡り他の島と交わることもできたのでしょうか。巨大な石材が海で運ばれたという仮説を立てたリン。当時の王朝が海を渡っていた可能性を調べます。およそ30キロ先にアンツ干渉と呼ばれる小さなサンゴの島があります。
I found only one report of this whole place. It was written from before the time I was born. And it describes something that I've got to check out that's just beyond the reef.
文献によるとその島には古代文明の痕跡があったそう。ウィリアム・ホーリーに話を聞きます。アンツ干渉を守るロサの称号を持つ人物です。
Welcome to Ant.
Thank you. And your family has been on this island for a long time.
Over 100 years. That's what our clan is, the Stingray.
These are awesome. Oh, I need a tattoo.
島のこの辺りは何十年も手つかずのまま。ロサはここで子供の頃、見慣れない石を見たと言います。
I don't know how you can find anything with all this undergrowth.
You're starting to see the basalt rocks here, yeah? That is not common for an atoll like this.
These are the same basalt rocks that I saw at Namadol. There's no quarry of basalt sitting out here somewhere in this atoll, is there?
There is none.
古代文明の痕跡はこれだけではありません。
All right, we're at it.
You found it?
Yeah. If you look, they're flat rocks, overgrown with trees and stuff. But if you brush it off and you take a look at it, it's a cow stone.
Oh, I saw one just like this right at the entrance of Namadol. And the first thing I did was sit with the Nam Marquis to a sakao ceremony where stones were pounding just like this to make the sakao. You can see this is so deep. This must have been hundreds of sakao ceremonies.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands, maybe.
Yep.
Where did these stones come from?
I would say Pohnpei.
So somehow the technology that they had in understanding the sea allowed them to bring huge boulders across waves and reefs and miles of ocean just to get here. Is it possible that these were the same people that built Namadol?
Has to be. I can't see any other reason why this would actually be here, unless there was a link between here and there. Here's another one, right here, bigger one. I think there probably would have been some type of a settlement here.
Wow, how big do you think this is?
That's the mystery.
よく見たいものの手では避けきれません。そこでライダーでスキャンし草木を取り除きます。ナンマドールと同様に下に隠れているものがあらわになるでしょう。
The guys have processed all the data that I got from the scan out on Ant Atoll. And here it is. So I zoom in here, and this is the track that I walked. But I can actually kind of move down through the layers and clear away the trees a little bit. You can actually see this really incredible blueprint of this site. That darker area right there. These are sakao stones. Those are the pounding stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In a circle, all around this one area. You can imagine how big of a ceremonial place this must have been, because I've only seen 1 or 2 sakao stones next to each other. This is 6 right here.
ナンマドールから30キロ離れたアンツ干渉。そこで儀式をしていたのは同じ王朝の人々かもしれません。これは当時の人々が海を渡っていたという証拠です。
What's really incredible about this is that it's on a tiny speck of sand beyond the barrier reef, which means that what happened here happened elsewhere as well.
太平洋にはおよそ25000もの島があります。人々は海を渡り交流していたのです。このネットワークはどれほどの規模だったのでしょう。高い輸送技術を持っていたナンマドールの人々。何キロもの海を渡り石を運びました。さらに広範な海のネットワークもあったかもしれません。人類学者のアシュリー・メレディスがそれを裏付けるであろうあるものを見つけました。
Ready?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's quite a large field, eh?
It's amazing.
やってきたのは岩々が露出する場所。ここに古代のアートがあるというのです。
It's creepy. Looks almost like a ghost. Look at that, there's a sword down there. How long ago were these carved?
This could be 1,000 to 2,000 years ago.
Okay, 2,000 years ago, that's the time when the story of Christ was happening. That's the time when the first emperor of China was building the terracotta army. And here, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, somebody actually carved this into this stone and contemplated their reality.
石に描かれた不思議な絵。ポンペイ島にはナンマドールができるずっと以前から文明が根付いていたのです。
Ready? This is my favorite.
Whoa. Wow. How did you find this?
Through oral history. There are stories here that talk about foreigners making these.
Foreigners?
Mm-hmm. Where these people came from, we can't be sure.
You see these anywhere else?
Similar in New Caledonia.
Wait. How far away is New Caledonia?
New Caledonia is about 2,000 miles from here.
2,000 miles?
Yep.
That's like, that's almost the distance between New York and LA.
Yes.
If I take images from a bunch of different angles, then I can use photogrammetry where you can add up the overlapping images and it creates a 3D model of the entire
That's
surface.
Really cool.
デジタル技術を使って薄れた彫刻をくっきりと映し出します。
Check this out. Is that
Oh my
awesome?
gosh.
I'm actually moving the virtual light across the features and make them pop out a little more. See?
Yep, that was a good one.
Right there?
Slowly. There.
Right there?
Yes, that's really cool. You can see more of the detail.
Let me just screen grab this.
All right.
So now I can pull the same thing up over here. Okay. This is the image from New Caledonia?
That's right.
Okay, so this is from here.
They have a lot in common.
You see, maybe I can actually do something even crazier. I can change the opacity. I can move it on top of the other image. Look at that.
Whoa, they're really similar.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's almost a perfect print, one of the other. I'm staring at these two images, and to me, it's just too similar to be a coincidence. How could something nearly identical pop up 2,000 miles away, but in a time when sailing across those distances must have been incredibly difficult? There's no GPS. It's just old school navigation.
この彫刻が同じ民族のものかは分かりません。しかし確かなことが、海は島々の文化を隔てていたのではなくつないでいたのです。この地をおよそ400年支配したシャウテレウル王朝。当時の人々は太平洋を行き来する技術を持っていました。もしかしたらはるか彼方の文明とも交流があったのかもしれません。1万キロ離れたイースター島の人々とさえも。彼らが生きた証は石に残っています。海に浮かぶこの石の都は想像を超える規模と荘厳さを誇るものでした。玉座に眠るのは強い力を持った王。この王朝は周囲のあらゆる文明とつながっていたのでしょう。広大な太平洋を越えて。
This place it came from a meeting of peoples who sailed across the seas with skill and bravery beyond comprehension. And with them, they carried ideas, creating an ocean continent in a way, leaving traces of the human spirit in these massive, mysterious stone monuments.
ナンマドールは単なる謎の建造物ではありません。人類の可能性を示すものなのです。